heavenly power.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Boom. Yeah.
All right. There's
There's a lot of stuff going on.
So many beautiful things happening here. For one, they look amazing. So let's just get that out of the way. Well, I'll say that 100 more times. But I guess let's get into it. So first of all, you got to start with the symbols. Got to start with the basic attacks. So she has these cool astral basic attacks, it looks like.
Yeah, so she is a hunter, right? So she'll be doing physical damage.
Yeah.
And she is going to be based a lot around basic attacks.
Okay.
In terms of just how she is as a class. But they are rather beautiful.
Oh,
She
they really
will
are.
be pulling out of this wonderful water pot that she has. And she is typically described as having this water pot like as her main symbol because it does kind of go in tandem being an icon of motherhood or the womb.
Yeah.
So it goes very, very closely with a lot of her themes.
Okay.
So we thought, what better way than to kind of pull these little starry objects, kind of like a quiver, out and then just throw them out. It is a very, very beautiful and elegant solution for her.
Yeah. Well, and as a fan of the motif of space as an aesthetic, the trail of that auto attack is probably now among, if not my favorite, like auto attack trail in the game. That is so gorgeous looking.
Very
So I'm a big.
It feels like ethereal water.
It does feel like ethereal water. You're right. All right. Anyway, I could stare at that all day, but let's move on to the passive. The passive is called Flux. What does Flux do?
So this is going to be basically kind of a soft stim, right?
Yeah.
A lot of hunters will have a stim in their kit. She has a different kind of stim that we'll get to in a second, but
Okay.
how this works is that each time she hits an enemy god with a damaging ability, this is damage as well, so you have to actually do damage to them.
Gotta
to
hit
make this
them.
work.
Got it.
You get a stacking attack speed buff. You can have up to 10 stacks because you can trigger multiple stacks from a single ability, which we'll get into in a little bit. But
Okay.
essentially, hit enemy gods with your abilities, and you will get attack speed.
Got it. I can get behind that. So now we're moving in to her first ability called Convergence.
Yeah, so this is the stim that I was mentioning.
Okay.
If you could just toggle it on for us here, JMac, that would be appreciated. So as you can see here, she gets these two kind of little orbs beside her.
Yeah.
And so you'll also notice that she has these awesome, this awesome back piece of these orbs as well. So what's happening is she's firing out 3 shots at the same time, and they're all converging into a single point. You can see how we got the name.
I get it.
And so how this is working is that she is shooting out, again, those 3 projectiles.
Yeah.
The center one functions as close to a basic attack as possible. So it still procs crits, it still
Okay.
procs basic attack items, it does all of that wonderful stuff.
Got it.
And the side projectiles do ability damage and proc ability items, etc.
That's kind of cool.
So it's a very fun little mix, and depending on how accurate you are with these shots, you'll get a combination of the damage as well as, the combination of effects, which is very unique for a lot of hunters. They don't have that similar way to do it.
Yeah.
The other important thing to note is that this passes through enemies and
Okay.
minions,
It's piercing.
but it doesn't pass through walls. So you can shoot these at a wall, but they will get stopped. So a good way to, be careful with Newt is that you want to make sure that you're shooting directly at him and not into a wall.
Yeah. Fair enough. Nothing like being like, I got him, and then it just splashes off the wall, and you're like, oh, I don't got him.
Yeah, there's a couple more pieces to this ability. I know it's kind of crazy.
Okay. Keep going, please.
But as you can see with her passive meter, we've got these 4 orbs that will kind of appear off and on her back.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of to indicate how many attacks you will get at any given point using this one, because it's not a single stack amount that you get for the amount of times that you can shoot. You always get 1.
It's kind of like ammo, extra
Yeah.
ammo, bonus
Okay.
shots.
Extra
Got
ammo.
it.
You do get bonus
Okay.
shots. So you always get 1 for free, no matter when you use this.
Yeah.
And then you can also get up to 4 extra shots, which are those little orbs that you see on her back.
Okay,
So
cool.
as you shoot, you'll see that they start to disappear, and that
Yeah.
will tell you how many that you have left. So at the end of this, you will have no more. But actually, wait, they're coming back. So how you actually get these orbs is that you have to basic attack things.
Okay.
It gets a little complicated, which I understand.
I can see those the glowing stars
Yeah.
underneath the orbs there.
So
yeah.
the easiest way to track this is in the passive meter. When you hit an enemy god, you get 2 stacks. When you hit a minion, you get 1 stack.
Okay.
So each extra ammo requires 4 stacks. To get all 4 extra ammos, you need 16 stacks. So 16 basic attacks on minions, or 8 on gods, or whatever combination of the in-betweens.
Yeah.
To get all of them. And the extra other cool part is that because the center basic attack, or part of that ability, functions as a basic attack, you also
Get stacks while
get
using
stacks
the ability.
back for that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you'll see here that if you were to use that full extension, you will still get those extra stacks back.
Yeah.
And when you're done, you have more ready to go.
That's
and you're
really
probably
cool.
wondering, it's going to be on cooldown. So how am I going to use? Why am I getting these stacks now? I can just wait for the cooldown to be on. We'll get to that in a second. But just keep that in the back of your mind because we'll get there.
Okay, the back of my mind is already pretty full, so
I got one more for you.
okay.
You don't have to use all of them in one go.
Oh, true.
You can keep some in your back pocket.
Really, you can throw a few out and then just cancel and
Yep.
back in the okay.
Yeah, so when you cancel this ability, it puts it on cooldown, but you actually refund all the ammo that you have not used yet. So if you never shot out your third or fourth stack, you'll get them back, and you'll be good to go and be able to use them when the cooldown's up next.
My mind is too full. That's really cool. I like that a lot. And that's only one ability. We still have more to talk
Yes,
about.
the rest, I promise, are a little more simple.
That's fine. I like it that way. So this is super cool. This is her second ability, Crashing Comet.
Yeah, so as you can see, when JMac throws this ability out, she's going to call down a comet from the sky, and it crashes down on the enemies below.
Yeah.
So it does damage, obviously, but getting hit by a meteor would hurt, and it also would send out a ripple around where it hits. So as you can see, there's 2 areas in the ability here. The center one roots. The outer one trembles, and we're going to lose Odin. He's going to walk away.
Yeah, he's like, that was uncomfortable. I gotta go.
We'll get another Odin back to continue to be our test dummy here.
Yeah.
But essentially, depending on how accurately you hit this, you get a little bit more CC and a little bit extra damage on top of that.
Yeah.
So this also counts towards Flux, again, because if you're hitting the center, you're getting 2 stacks. It's going to feel great to get more extra stacks of that ability. So you get 2 stacks of Flux because you've hit him twice. Double damage, double stacks of Flux.
Yeah, more attack speed. All right, well, that's super cool. Also going to be really fun to use in team fights because one person's hurting and the rest of the people are like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
All
Very
right,
unique CC for
yeah,
as well.
very unique and very pretty. I mean, again, space aesthetic. So we're on to the third ability now, Warp.
This
You
one
can
might
warp.
be one of the most fun movement abilities that we've put into the game in a long time.
Yeah.
This is an 8-way teleport. So depending on whichever direction that you're moving, you will teleport 15 units in that direction pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
you might say, oh my god, Larry, a blink? You put a blink in the
You
game?
put a blink?
15 units is really not that far. So what
Yeah.
this is designed for is to kind of have a juke ability. Let's say like Scylla drops across from your feet. You go, uh-oh, push my 3 in whatever direction, and I'm out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry
Can't
about it.
catch me.
And the other great part about this ability has several. You might be wondering, well, okay, what's this extra circle around there? If there are enemies within the range of this circle, you will also spawn these projectiles that home into whoever is the closest god. There's 3 of them, and they slow as well.
Okay.
So they will spread out depending on how many gods are in that circle, and then the slow will also stack up if they get hit by multiple. It will prioritize gods and then minions, and it will only go to 3. If there are more than 3, it will pick the closest 3.
Okay, cool. So you're saying that if there are 3 people, though, each one of those will hone to its own different...
Yep, exactly.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Every combination, if there's 2, one person's going to get hit twice, one person furthest away is going to get hit once.
How do y'all come up with this stuff?
I mean,
I like that you called
that's
it a...
him. He made it.
I like, yeah, right. I like that you called it a juke, by the way. When while I can see it being used as that, I can also see that as a you aren't running from me, I am going to blink you down. So
Exactly. It's a little hard to chase with it
Okay.
just because it's so short, but if you really are playing aggressive and playing off a crashing comet as well, you can do a pretty solid combo.
Yeah.
Because that's not the only thing this ability does. Remember when I said to keep in the back of your mind while you were still getting stats on your 1?
oh, I have to dig in the back of my mind. There's so much, but
Well,
yes.
it's back up in front now because when you use this ability, it also resets the cooldown of Convergence. So let's say you've used your Convergence, you've gotten a few extra stacks back, and now you want to use it again.
Yeah.
Well, allow me to just use Convergence, and it's back.
Huh.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's really cool. I can already see you teleport across the map, you blink in, you convergence, blink into the fight, convergence again. The combos are limitless.
Yeah, the combo tends to be very much surrounded around this reset of the cooldown. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to see how players are able to manipulate the number of stacks that they get on Convergence and how they use Warp and jumping in and out of fights. It's going to feel really, really cool to,
Well, I mean,
to play around it.
Yeah, and what JMac just did there is just so threatening looking because you have this really wide ability basic attack, and then you blink, you're slowing people, you get to recast that, you get to reuse that. It's just such a visual. I don't know. I'm visually in awe of how cool that looked because it's just what a threatening thing to see.
It's a lot of orbs.
Yeah, it's a lot of orbs. Newt, she brought the orbs, dude.
Yeah, I mean, all of the stars are her children, right? So she's got to be calling up on them for a little bit of help every now and then. You know what I mean? But that's not even the biggest star that we've yet
That's not even the biggest of the orbs. Well, then let's get right to it. We have her ultimate, Skyfall.
So yeah, Newt's a sky, so she goes up into the sky. when she's up there, she's able to move around and aim a little bit, but she's got this giant black hole that she's charging up. Because
Yeah.
another thing about space is that space is beautiful, but it can also be deadly.
That's true.
And one thing that black holes are known to do is that they will pull in anything that's nearby. So if you get hit by a black hole, imagine you're getting pulled back into that center there. So you'll see that targeter has 2 different circles. The inner circle does the majority of the damage, and then after a short delay, that outer circle is the area that pulls people.
Okay.
That also does a small amount of damage, but it's balanced around, the pull is very powerful back to the center. You want to make sure that damage is a lot less than if you're hitting it dead on.
Yeah, of course. Man, well, here's a fun science lesson I could be completely incorrect on, and I'm sure if I am, people will tell me. But I'm pretty sure when you get sucked into a black hole, you get like stretched out or whatever because crazy gravity. Pretty sure they call that spaghettification.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I've heard of
fun.
that.
You have? Okay, cool. So that's how spaghetti was invented. They were out in space and they dropped some wheat noodles into a black hole, and next thing you know. So
This ability was very fun to
cool
tinker with,
looking.
right? Especially, I don't know if we're on restricted camera pitch here, but if we can alt and go unrestricted and take a little gander at the sky. Very quickly. I know I'm asking quite a lot here. I apologize. I'm pretty sure it's in controls. Yeah, there it is.
I was
There it is.
about to
Okay, so
say.
it's on. You just got to turn that bad boy off. Beautiful. Love. We're doing a little live change.
that's what makes it fun. The live
Goes
stuff
up.
is always fun.
And you can see the whole sky is turning dark. Look at that.
Oh, that's really cool.
And then
Yeah,
turns
like
back.
whoop.
Yeah, the other very important thing to note about this ultimate is that Newt will always go back to the location that she started, and she leaves
Okay.
kind of a pillar on the ground, so enemies will know where she's firing it from. The pillar goes very high up into the sky.
Got
You can
it.
see it over walls. You can also tell that she's ulting by just looking at the sky.
Yeah.
Anywhere on the map this will happen. So we wanted to be very sure that there was a lot of counterplay to this ultimate because, again, huge team pack
playmaking
effectiveness.
ultimate.
Can also be very good for self-peel, but you also need to be very careful because they're probably going to be waiting for you when you
Yeah,
come back down.
they know where you're gonna be. So
I've been bullied in many a playtest because I went back down to where I did not want to be.
you were like, I'm free, but you weren't free.
Nope.
Yeah, so combined with the small amount of movement that she has, yes, the cooldown is relatively low on that, but you're not going very far. So you can buy yourself
Okay.
some time to get your teammates back to you, but if people catch up to you, it's going to be a little scary. So
Yeah.
you might want to call up on Geb, a little bit of extra help there to get you out. She does need to kind of have this really big positioning focus to be in exactly kind of like that sweet spot
Yeah.
for convergence and with her warp as well. So all of these things combined, if you really are a master of positioning, you're going to do very, very well with Newt.
And we've just seen the way that people have learned through this community. Like people pick her up in PTS and it'll be rough, and then live and it'll be not so rough, and then a month into live and we're gonna be seeing some plays that are just unimaginably crazy. So like again, it's cool seeing a new kit with so much possibility like this because playtests have discovered so many things, and then you pass it out to the entire world at large, the community at large, and just the stuff that y'all figure out is